Didn't mean to rush y'all. All right.
We didn't mean to interrupt you.
I think we're going to go ahead and call to order. And if we could, Councilman Bradford's going to lead us in an invocation, and I'll lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
Let us stand. Precious God, we come thankful for this day and for life. Thank you, Lord, for this opportunity to serve the people of this city. Help us to act with character and conviction today. Help us to listen with understanding and goodwill. Help us to speak with clarity. Guide us through this meeting. Rest our blessings upon the mayor and all those council members who make up the leadership of this city. Lord, we pray that what we do here today will be pleasing. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Face the flag, and with your hand over your heart, repeat after me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, Madam Clerk, could you call the roll, please?
Mr. Bradford?
Present.
Mr. Everson?
Here.
Mr. Jenkins? Mr. Corbin?
Here.
Mr. Flurry?
Here.
Ms. Lynch? Here. Mr. Bowman?
All right, and tomorrow I will entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the Administrative Conference meeting of April 13th, 2015, and the City Council meeting from April 14th, 2015. At this point, does any council member have any awards, recognition, or distinguished guests with them today? Seeing none, we will move on. Mayor Tyler, do you have any awards, recognitions, or communications relative to city business today?
Not today, sir. Thank you.
All right. And then tomorrow, let's see, tomorrow we will have a Master Plan Committee report. Is that right? All right. And we will have an opportunity for property standards questions if you have those. So we'll have that today as well. And then, let's see, I think we should have already received revenue collection for this month. And then, didn't we? Or no?
You received it for
Prior
the full month of March. So next council meeting, you should have the
next one.
The April. Yes, sir.
Great. And then council members will note we did also receive a update from the administration regarding some current budget situations. So please make sure that you've read that, and we appreciate that update. Let's see, tomorrow we will have a public hearing that will concern resolution number 49 of 2015, which is a resolution stating the City of Shreveport's endorsement of Twin Oak Investments to participate in the Louisiana Restoration Tax Abatement Program. This is one that is in my district, and I think we talked about it a bit when we first put it on there. The nature of these, it stays on the agenda for 3 readings, so this will be the public hearing, and so that should not be time consuming, but if anybody does have any questions, feel free to have them ready for that, and I'm sure they'll be prepared to answer those. Let's see, adding items to the agenda. Mr. Crawford, is there any legislation to be added tomorrow?
No, Mr. Chair.
All right. And I don't have any requests for public comments today. And we don't have any confirmations or appointments tomorrow, though there are some that will be mentioned in the clerk's report to be voted on at the next meeting. And then there are no items on our consent agenda for introduction, but there are some for adoption. Mr. Crawford, could you read those?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Resolution 78, accepting dedication for Newberry Lane, Bridgewater Avenue, Torrey Pine Lane, Copper Lily Lane, Buckhorn Drive, and Winterberry Lane in Providence, Phase 3, Unit A. Resolution 79, declaring the city's interest in certain adjudicated properties was surplus. Resolution 80, declaring the city's interest in certain adjudicated properties as surplus. Resolution 81, suspending the effects of certain provisions of Chapter 10 and Chapter 106 of the Code of Ordinances in connection with the South Highland Summer Market. Resolution 82, suspending the effects of certain provisions of Chapter 10 and Chapter 106 of the City of Shreveport's Code of Ordinance relative to the Cinco de Mayo event. Resolution 83, authorizing the mayor to execute an act of release of a 5-foot wide utility easement in the 80 Industrial Park subdivision in Section 18T17N, R14W. Resolution 84, authorizing the mayor to execute an act of release of a 15-foot sanitary sewer main servitude and a 25-foot water main and sanitary sewer main servitude in the Circuit City subdivision in Section 1 T16N R14W. Resolution 85, authorizing the mayor to execute an act of release of a portion of a 5-foot wide utility easement in the Michael Jerome Park subdivision in Section 21 T18N R14W. Resolution 86, commending and congratulating the Shreveport Bossier Maverick basketball team for winning its second consecutive ABA title and fourth overall ABA title. Resolution 91, declaring May as National Bike Month and Bicycle Safety Month, and the week of May 11th through the 15th, 2015, as Bike to Work Week.
Okay, I have a question from Councilwoman Lynch.
I wanted to see, is the basketball team going to be here tomorrow?
They're not going to be here tomorrow. The latest update I heard is that they'll be here. So we will vote on it tomorrow, and then we can present it to them at the following meeting. So they'll be at the May 12th meeting, is what I understand.
I'm worried about wearing my good hair.
Let's, on the, I think it's resolution 80, there were 3 properties on there on Miles Street. That I wanted, they don't have an applicant. It may not have been 80, it may have been 70.
I think it's 80.
We've got Mr. Stafflander here from
79.
Property Management if you have any questions.
I wanted to, they don't have an applicant. I think the other ones did.
They did not have an address, you said?
No, they don't have an applicant.
Oh, an applicant? Yes, ma'am.
Right.
And your question is?
My question is, I wanted to see about putting those off because I didn't, the airport has a lot of vacant properties over there, and there was a huge discussion at their meeting last week about the kind of the checkerboard effect that they've had with some of the properties that they bought. I don't know if these are in any of the same area. I guess I'm just trying to see is it contiguous to some that they have, because you may not want them to be out there like that.
Okay, and
Yes.
I can research those properties to
Okay.
see if they're contiguous to ones that we already own,
Okay.
and I can have that for you tomorrow. We polled the departments, and we did not get a response from the airport saying that they had a reason to reserve them, but I'll be happy to.
Yeah, can
Do
you
whatever
double
you-
check on those for me?
Okay.
I want to make sure there's supposed to be some plan that, talks about the redevelopment of that property. So if there's some that may be close by, I want to make sure we keep those.
Okay, so the ones on Miles Street are the ones that you're concerned about, okay?
The other one had applicants on the,
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, the other 4 I think I had. Okay. That's
Okay.
all. Thank you.
Good, all right.
And are there any other questions? I would like to just ask, there are a number, I think, that are, well, they're sort of spread out, but there are several of these utility easements that are on there. Does the administration want to just give us just a
Be
brief?
glad to have Mr. Westerman come up and comment on those. Robert,
They don't sound controversial, but I just
they're
figured
not.
We should ask.
Mr. Westerman, can you come forward and comment on I believe there's 3 pieces of legislation on there regarding easements.
And while he's making his way up, I will mention that Resolution 91 declaring National Bike Month, that's obviously a national event to recognize bikes and bike safety and acknowledge people who commute by bike. We do have a lot of citizens who are interested in seeing the city of Shreveport move forward with being a more bikeable city. And we have a number of projects going on there to that effect, but they're not always things that, may not touch every district yet, but certainly we want to get everybody involved. And so if anybody has questions about that, it's a great time to ask. And, certainly next month we'll have a lot of interest in that. So it'll be a good time to make ourselves aware of those efforts and see what we can do to move them forward. So thank you.
Okay, Mr. Chairman, which easement were you wanting?
Oh, I just meant if you wanted to just give us a brief summary of these 3,
83, 84, and 80.
Resolution number 83, there is a 5-foot utility easement that we're closing and abandoning The roadway right-of-way had been previously closed and abandoned, and this was a remainder of that, and they did not close and abandon when they did the roadway right-of-way, so we're simply cleaning that issue up with that one. The next is the 15-foot, number 84. There's a 15-foot servitude and 25-foot water and utility servitude through the middle of the Circuit City property, and I know that property is now up for resubbing. And the developer, there are no facilities there, either water and sewer or utilities. They're going to be resubbing that property, and they'd like to rededicate or to release those servitudes of that property so they can provide for development and re-subdivision.
Okay.
And lastly, the last one is number 85. Again, it's another cleanup situation where the property is being resubbed, and they're eliminating an old servitude that is not necessary. There are no facilities located within that servitude.
Right. Does anybody have any questions about anything else on consent agenda?
Do we get money off of these utility easement things?
Beg your pardon?
Are these revenue generators? Do we get money for these?
These wouldn't be because there's not, there's not service running on them from what I understand. They're just...
Well, technically we don't own the property.
Yeah.
We only have permission to be there.
We have permission to run service lines through
Correct.
them, and we don't have service lines there, correct?
That is correct.
Okay, what about on the dedications on 78?
Oh, those are dedications for new street right-of-ways that are in the Providence subdivision. They're doing another development through there, extending the master plan development. And those right-of-ways will be able to generate revenue should some facility or somebody else want to come in and lease a portion of that right-of-way in order to locate those facilities. But as far as revenue generating on the right-of-way itself, no, ma'am, we do not generate revenue.
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Appreciate it, Rob.
Thank you.
Just want to be sure, is either one of these items to be removed from the consent agenda? Okay, questions on?
Stephanie, did you want to remove the...
Yes.
Well, I just want my properties out of the rest of them can stay.
Which one is your 79?
No, I think it was 80.
The 79 was the one with the no applicants. Yeah, 79.
79.
So we can put that on the regular agenda and then make an amendment to it?
No, we'll take care of it.
Okay, you're able to. Okay. All right. Okay, that's it for the consent agenda. Mr. Crawford, please proceed with regular agenda legislation.
Resolutions on second reading and final passage, or which will require only one reading. Hang on a second. I think I've skipped ahead.
No, I think you're right.
Hold on just a second. Yeah, I'm going to let my computer catch up to where I'm at. Resolution 49, stating the City of Shreveport's endorsement of Twin Oak Investments, LLC, participate in the benefit of the Louisiana Restoration Tax Abatement Program. Resolution 67, authorizing the use of certain city-owned equipment by the Junior League of Shreveport-Bossier. Resolution 68, authorizing the use of certain equipment by the North Shreveport Business Association. Resolution 69, authorizing the use of certain equipment by the Department of the Air Force, Barksdale Air Force Base. Resolution 70, ratifying the use of certain equipment by Shreveport Green for the Great American Cleanup. Resolution 71, authorizing the use of certain equipment by the March of Dimes for the March for Babies. Resolution 72, authorizing the use of certain equipment by the North Shreveport Business Association. Resolution 73, authorizing the execution of a cooperative endeavor agreement with Get Up Incorporated. Resolution 87, to allocate funds to a specific not-for-profit organization from funds budgeted and other charges in the Riverfront Development Special Revenue Fund. Resolution 88, to support the United States Department of Transportation's mayor and local elected officials' challenge for safer people and safer streets. Resolution 89, stating the City of Shreveport's endorsement of Libby Glass Incorporated to participate in the benefits of the Louisiana Quality Jobs Program. Resolution 90, authorizing OCA, Bossier City Missions, located at 2155 Southern Loop Road, to connect to the water systems of the City of Shreveport.
Are there any questions? Councilman Bradford.
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'm just going to
state that I'm going to ask that tomorrow that resolution 87 be postponed until the 11th, May the 11th meeting.
Okay. Are there any? So that's resolution 87. Likely to be postponed. And then, do we have any other question on any of these other ones? Stephanie, you're good with 89? Great. Sounds good. Looked good. Just wanted to make sure. Okay, seeing no more, Mr. Crawford, can you proceed? I don't think we have any introduction of resolutions under that section, but I think we are on to introduction of ordinances.
We are introduction of ordinances not to be adopted prior to May 12th, 2015. Ordinance 30 to amend and reenact sections 10-171 and 10-172 and to enact sections 10-171.1 and 10-172F of the Code of Ordinance relative to alcoholic beverages. Ordinance 31, amending the 2015 capital improvements budget. That's regarding airport and the express jet hangar. Ordinance 32, granting an extension of the franchise granted to CenterPoint Energy Resources Corporation, DBA, CenterPoint Energy Louisiana Gas, as successor in interest of Arkansas Louisiana Gas Company, a division of ARCLA Incorporated, for the operation of a gas transmission and distribution system to supply the delivery of gas to the city of Shreveport and its inhabitants, providing for the payment by CenterPoint Energy of a franchise fee. Ordinance 33, C-3715, amending and reenacting Chapter 106 of the Shreveport Code of Ordinances relative to book exchange boxes. Ordinance 34, zoning, C-1415, 8050 Mansfield Road, amending Chapter 106 of the Code of Ordinances, the City of Shreveport zoning ordinance by rezoning property located on the northwest corner of Mansfield Road and Amelia Avenue. B and the same is hereby changed from B3 Community Business District to B3E Community Business Extended Use District, limited to an auto sales office, inoperative vehicle storage, repairs, and taxi dispatch only, with site plan approval. Ordinance 35, zoning C-3115, 935 West 70th Street, amending Chapter 106 of the Code of Ordinances, the City of Shreveport zoning ordinances by rezoning property located on the south side of West 70th Street, approximately 650 feet east of Courtesy Lane. B and the same is hereby changed from B3 Community Business District to I1 Light Industrial District with revised site plan approval. Ordinance 34 amends the 2015 capital improvements budget.
Ordinance 36, I believe that was.
Ordinance 36.
Okay, I have a question from Councilman Jenkins.
Just a quick question on the CenterPoint. In there, the formerly known or successor in interest to Arkansas or ARCLA, is that in the actual documents or from now on the contracts actually? I'm assuming we got it or CenterPoint got it from ARCLA as a successor, right?
That's what we understand.
And so in our title, we just name them as a point of reference, the successor, but then in the document itself, the contract will be with CenterPoint Energy? Okay. Because I'm assuming the 25-year whatever contract we had before was actually signed with ARCLA originally.
That's correct.
Okay.
And I did it that way to make it clear that they are a successor to the previous term, so that in the event, let's say there was an audit, all of our rights and obligations under the old term are not waived by the fact that we extended it with a new name, a new corporate name.
I got you. Okay.
And just for reference, I'll say on 33, which has to do with the book exchange boxes, this is the Little Free Library situation. We have a lot of public interest in that, and I would like to make sure that we have a chance to have a few individual meetings with some of the people who are, who are very interested in that matter. So after we introduce it, I guess we don't have to take any action tomorrow, but I'll probably be postponing that at the next meeting to the following meeting to give us time to meet with everybody and just make sure that that's been thoroughly vetted and that the public has had enough chance to comment on that. And then secondarily, I would like to mention, I think I have had a chance to talk with several of you, but Ordinance 36 is a a capital improvements budget amendment that I have that would take some money. One of the capital projects in my district that was under the public facilities section came in under budget significantly, and two of the other projects in the district are they're very close to their budget. So what this would do is move a little bit of money into those two projects to provide for a contingency and make sure that we're able to construct those as the citizens were told. And then, hopefully that money won't really actually be spent, but we want to make sure that those contracts are able to move forward. So that's what that is. If anybody has any questions, we certainly have time to visit more about that. But I have Councilwoman Lynch as question.
I do, on the one you were just talking about.
Mm-hmm.
So that's for actual construction, or is that design?
That's construction. These projects have already been designed. And okay.
To make sure. I guess I just want to make sure. Is there some extra money laying around somewhere?
Well, in capital projects,
I know about it.
in capital budget, there are some areas where there is money that is not currently assigned. So,
Okay.
if that's answering
Where
that
is that
question.
in capital?
Yeah, in capital. For capital. So, if it is, depending on the source of the money, that really informs what that money can be used for. So, for instance, a 2011 general obligation bond, if something was a water and sewage project that may have come in under budget, that money would be available for another water and sewage project.
Okay.
So there could be, there are some things.
So this is bond money here.
This is bond money, and it's going to other bond projects. Yeah, these are all the projects identified in this were identified under the same section of the bond. So this isn't taking money away from a bond project and putting it to a non-bond project. They're all three.
And these projects were already identified specifically.
Yeah, they've already been identified and designed. We're just adding a contingency to the.
They're already in the bond projects to be funded.
Right. But it's got a little juice in it left. Got a little money left over.
Well, one of them came in under budget, but yes, there are some areas.
There's some other ones that have.
But don't go use it up before I know about it.
We'll help.
I may have something.
I'll tell you where to take a look, and you
Thank
can
you.
Look and see what you may
Flurry
need.
wants some of it too.
I think we'd all love as much capital dollars as we could get, but let's worry. Mostly, we would like to see us spend the projects we've got going now.
Right.
I would like us to complete the ones that
Mr.
we've
Chair,
been
some of those
promising on
projects
for
do come
5
in
years.
over
Come
budget.
in
as
over
well.
budget.
So
They
we
do,
have to
and
tap
so
into
that's
it.
why when we come in under budget on
Careful.
one, we have to be careful. That's why this, I think, is a prudent thing to do, because what we're doing is we're just adding a contingency to projects to ensure that they can move forward on the contract as they've been bid out now. That way we can complete those projects, hopefully on a quicker time frame. And, the sooner you complete a project, the more likely you are to have a little left over that you can then put back to where it needs to go. So I think that's the goal behind that. But certainly be willing to work with, especially any of the new council members who may not be as familiar with the capital budgeting process. If anybody's interested in finding out a little bit more, I'm happy to do that. And let's see. So I think we are on to ordinances on second reading and final passage.
Yes, sir. Ordinances on second reading and final passages. Ordinance 24 amends and reenacts Division 6 of Chapter 6 of the Code of Ordinances relative to the Department of Informational Technology. Ordinance 25 amends the 2015 capital improvement budget. Ordinance 26 amends the 2015 general fund budget, appropriating the funds authorized therein. Ordinance 27, levying a tax of 19 mils per dollar on all property subject to ad valorem taxation within the city of Shreveport for the year 2015 for the purpose of paying principal and interest on the outstanding general obligation bond of the city of Shreveport. Ordinance 28, levying various taxes totaling 17 and 65/100ths mils per dollar on all property subject to ad valorem taxation within the city of Shreveport for the year 2015 in the amounts and for the purposes described herein. Ordinance 29, levying a tax of 8 and 64/100ths mils per dollar on all properties subject to ad valorem taxation within the bounds of the Downtown Development District of the City of Shreveport for the year 2015 for the purposes as set forth herein.
All right. Any questions? I see none, but
I think, Ms. Glass, did we have an issue about possibly postponing ordinances 27, 28, and 29 relative to turning that information in at one time.
Right. The legislative auditor, I think y'all are aware, has asked us to provide more details showing what millage goes to what specific proposition. And Mr. Madden and I worked on something and sent it to them, and they still weren't happy with the form. So in order to get that worked out, I think we may ask you to postpone for 2 weeks. We still have plenty of time before the June 1st deadline. And that's actually only on the debt service millage. But to make it easier on B, it's better if we do them all at one time because we have to report them all.
Absolutely.
So postpone 27, 28, and 29.
Yes.
That's what y'all are asking.
Yes.
Possibly. We'll know more tomorrow.
That's okay. Councilman Corbin.
While we're waiting on these, if we indeed are going to postpone all of them, I'm kind of a visual guy. Could we get just a real simple chart that shows like the past 5 years and what the millage in each of these has been? Absolutely. For each of those years, and we can look at it in one sheet.
Be glad to.
Thank you.
Okay, seeing no other questions, Mr. Thompson, is there any idea that we might discuss any of the tabled legislation tomorrow?
I'm not aware of any matter to be reviewed from the table.
Just as a frame of reference for the resolution 32 and 40, do we know a time frame of when those might come back up for discussion, or?
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I was thinking about something else.
That's okay. Yeah,
we have gotten an updated agreement, but I haven't had a chance to look at it yet. But it will be either at the next meeting or the following.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I just knew we were waiting on some information, and I didn't know how long that would be, but that sounds good. So within about a month or so, it looks like
those payments are made quarterly, so we have a little time frame before the next payment happens.
Good. Thank you for that. And let's see. I guess we're at property standards appeals now.
Ms. Farnell.
Ms. Farnell.
I think we finished so quickly, Mr. Chair, that we caught her off guard.
Look at that. I mean, and this is actually a pretty long agenda, but we went through it pretty quick, huh?
We took care of our business. We took care of our business. Yes, you did catch me off guard. It was,
Chairman, while they're getting ready, maybe we could ask if the owners are here. They can come up.
Yeah, the first one that we'll be doing today is 832 Drexel Street. So if the owner of 832 Drexel Street is...
Yes. Our first, thank you.
Thank you,
Our first case is in Councilman Oliver Jenkins' area, 832 Drexel. The owner is present, although he was informed that if we found that the property had been met compliance and had completely been rehabbed, that he did not have to come. This was a burn structure. The owner has complied. Everything on the outside has been done. He's now repairing the inside.
That's great.
So we're asking for the case to be closed.
I'll make
because
that
compliance has been met.
Motion by Councilman Jenkins, second by Councilman Corbin. Is that, or Bowman?
This is
second,
the owner.
Seconded by Councilman Bowman.
Be good, sir. Thank you.
It looks like you did an excellent job. I appreciate it, and the follow through, and not us having to see it every time for months and months. So I appreciate you finishing up. It looks like you did a great job. Appreciate that.
All votes are in, and that passes unanimously. Thank you so much. Congratulations.
Thank you.
thank you, sir.
All right, and
Our next
always
case,
good to see a good result like that.
Yes.
Let's see, our next one's...
Our next case is also in Councilman Oliver Jenkins' area. This is a care premise. Mr. Southern is here. This is a care premise. We filed this on, cited it on January the 13th of 15. It did go forward. The Property Standards Board he was only given 10 days to complete the care premise. It has been raining. He has made some significant improvement, and he is here. He has advised me because of the rain that has hampered him. I am in agreement if you are to give him 60 days to get the rest of this up. He thinks he'll probably be able to do it before that time. He is here if you would like to address him.
No, I'll make the motion for 60 days. I know it is very wet out there, and I'm sure getting any type of equipment out of there to move the stuff.
So motion from Councilman Jenkins, second by Councilman Corbin.
Thank you.
All votes are in, and it passes unanimously.
Our next case is in Councilman Efferson's area. It is 2407 Portland. This is a case that we first inspected this case back September the 18th of 2014. The case was this house was previously owned by Mrs. Shepard, and it went through the entire process of going before the Property Standards Board, appealing, and then it was appealed before the City Council as of January the 12th of 2015. At that time, it was confirmed that the case would continue to the First JDC District Court because the house had not been abated. It had not been rehabbed. Therefore, there was on April the 7th of 2015, we heard this case again. Mr. Bass, who came to the City Council and requested for more time. On April the 14th of 2015, the Shreveport City Council adopted a resolution 76 of 2015, which overturned the council's decision that was made on January the 26th of 2015 to demolish the structure. And the resolution placed this case back on the City Council's agenda for today. The present owner, which is Family Properties LLC, through Linda Diane Powell Orr at 11250 Heritage Oaks, was notified. She was sent a 10-day notice as being the new owner of the property. She did sign for the certified mail on April the 15th. No appeal was filed since this was placed on the council for today. I did go out and look at the property today. Oops. This is the structure now as to where we are today. The owner, I have not heard from the owner, Mrs. Shepard. Mrs. Orr.
Hour.
Linda Diane Powell Orr is the hour. I have not heard from her, although she has been notified. So where we are now is that the property is being rehabbed, even though we have not heard from her. I did look at it today. They have placed new seals around the property.
She's been in contact with the City Council office. Am I not mistaken? Didn't we get a letter from her?
We had a letter that we passed out to City Council members at the last meeting. I think Darth is referring to anything that's happened since this time.
Okay, sorry.
No, we have not. The administration, Property Standards Office has not heard from Mrs. Hour.
So clarify this, and I know there was an email chain back and forth, and I have not had time to read all of it. What is the current status of this? This is just like a normal appeal at this point?
This is a new appeal now.
Okay.
Yes, sir. This is a new appeal that is coming before you now. As I said, we did notify the property owner. We have had no contact with the property owner at this point.
This is the property owner's representative here.
I have no idea. We have not heard from the property owner. Okay, we have no idea of if there has been any representation. She has not contacted us to let us know that she has an agent or if she has any representation to speak on her behalf.
Okay.
So, no, I do not have anything. We have not been notified at all.
I'd like to invite this gentleman up. I think he was introduced to us as the manager of the properties last time.
The letter that y'all received when I was here last, they put in that letter that I handle all properties and everything. I have authorization to do whatever I'm supposed to do to get that property up to standard and get it rented out, which I've already got it leased out. And but if you look at that letter, y'all should have a copy of that letter. And it said in there everything that that I'm the one who handles everything. And if you need anything else, you can contact our office.
And what is the scheduled construction plan or renovation plan of this? When do you plan to have it ready for occupancy?
What you see right there, all that new stuff you see, that house was totally open last time I was here, which was not even a week and a half ago. And I've done all that, new doors, inside is almost finished. I've done painted everything, and it's ready for almost floors and light fixtures and all that. And the inspector came out a while ago, passed me just a minute ago. And we're going to close up the bottom. I'll have that house painted probably by the end of the week. And then, and I got a new roof going on it.
Yeah. I was out there today also, and yes, there has been considerable amount of work. They are doing some painting on the inside. The roof has to be done, of course. The toilet fixtures and all have to be replaced. The back of the house, as you can see, they're still painting and windows that have to be replaced. And I know he's doing some painting on the inside, but all of this must be complete also. I do believe that he will fix it, but what I am asking that he does not move anybody into this structure before everything has been done, and we would like to be able to check because too often this does occur. So, as I said, the roof, the rest of the outside, the inside, all of that needs to be done prior to his tenant moving in. We have no problem with him continue to rehab the house, but we will be monitoring it until completion has been done.
Right. Councilman Bradford had a question.
Yeah. I guess again we are in a state of not communicating in a way, not having a clear understanding what our actions did in our last proper standard appeal process in City Council when we pretty much did exactly what you said. I think we interceded and with the court proceedings and referred it back to your supervision. I think since that time, the proper permits so that he can proceed has been issued. So I think that was a good faith effort that he was indeed, and the letter stated that they were indeed serious about doing the work that they are doing. And I think we are in agreement. If there's some new process that needs to take forth, we can do that. But I think we're in agreement when we made when we did that action is that we will intercede and let the owner and the manager proceed with the rehab under your supervision. And I'm saying that I'm sure that nothing would be finalized until you give the okay and the inspectors that this house is inhabitable. Is that, so I'm saying I don't.
In that regard, to allow for that, I'd like to make a motion to postpone for 2 weeks.
Well, that was, Mayor, is that you did? Was there an issue that you guys, the administration had with this?
Well, and
30 days
our only
is fine.
issue was that
I said over 30 days.
No, we want to be clear on when we leave here.
I just want to ask a question. May we have a copy of the letter from the owner? Because the administration has not received that to my knowledge.
We don't have it with us.
We don't have it.
I mean, We don't have to get it today. I mean, if we have a copy, we don't
We
even
passed
know.
it out, and I couldn't find a copy, but it could be on my desk somewhere.
I mean, I would just say we all had copies on our desk last week.
But we didn't.
Yeah, we
Councilman.
did.
You're saying y'all didn't have
We
one?
never had a copy from the. When we've made contact with the owner, we've not gotten any response. And I would want to be able to say to council members, we know who owns this property. We've sent something to her. She's responded, but she has not responded. So we want to make sure that who we're dealing with. We just haven't seen anything.
We have not.
So if any member has that letter,
I will go back to
they'll
my
just get
office.
a copy.
I got it in my case.
I mean, I didn't say I got
Did
it.
y'all send it electronically at all?
No, it was here.
It was, we just had it. We just had
We got it during the council
So,
meeting.
Actually, Mr. Chairman, you the one, I mean, you the one held it up and was, and said that, all about it that day, so.
No, we're not disputing that.
Oh, we all know we all had it in front of us because we physically had it.
We just
They didn't get it down.
Okay, so tell me,
I need the letter.
Madam Mayor,
Like I said, the letter stated that I am over everything. So, but if you need to call the office, or they need to send you another letter, it's fine, they'll do it.
They need to send the mayor a copy if you don't mind.
okay.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Sure they do that.
Thank you, sir.
Okay,
Mr. Chairman.
so, and now I have, I think, a request from Councilman Bowman and then Art. After that, okay.
So, I'm just trying to understand. So I'm fine with the. I mean, I understand the 2 weeks. Or 30 days is fine too.
30 days is fine.
But no one is to move into the property, right? Until after the fact. I mean, you said you had a lease, but no one is moving in, correct?
I have a lease signed and it's all of them.
When are you planning on letting them move in?
Well, I told her, being as we were doing this, I told her it was going to put me behind to let her move in. So I told her no later than the first of next month. I told her if I finish earlier, if the council meeting was before that, then I told her I'd prorate the days and let her move in, next month. So, but it'd be towards the end of the month because, I mean, our estimated day was on the 15th until I got knocked back, 5 days I couldn't work on it. So, but like I said before, I got 4 men, 5 men over there every day. And we're trying to hurry up and get it done.
But no one to move in with it in the shape it's in now. Is what you're saying?
Oh no, not now. No. It'll be totally remodeled for the customer moves in.
Ms. Doctor, you.
And we will be looking at it because, as I said, I did do a walkthrough. There's several things that must be done, so we want to make sure that it is completed and done before he moves anyone in here because we don't not want anybody calling us later.
I understand. That's great. I understand it. I just like earlier stated. There's too many times that it starts, and then we may end up moving somebody into one of these properties that's not the condition for somebody that's not ready to be moved into. So I just want to make sure that it's getting done before somebody. I'm 30 days. It could be 45 days. I just don't want anybody to move in until that's my.
Correct. Because I do know that there is a roof leak. And he's going to have to replace the roof because I asked the gentleman who was working over there today when I looked up and saw all the spots up there. And he said, well, it's leaking. I said, yeah, I can tell. You've got 2 or 3 places here. He said, well, we're going to replace it. But see, that hasn't occurred. And all those things we're looking at. Just don't want a citizen moving in to a house that is incomplete.
Okay, Art, and then Councilwoman Lynch, followed by Councilman Bradford.
I was just going to ask if the administration objected to continuing it for 2 weeks while we look for the letter, and he would make as much progress as possible and see where we are then.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, we're fine. I mean, okay, Councilwoman Lynch.
And what leash are we putting on? Because I don't really like tight, short leashes, but that's me. How much time does he, considering weather and all of that? I mean, I want to be reasonable.
Yes, ma'am. I was willing to give him 30 days. He's saying that 3 weeks, but I was willing to give him 30 days since he said that he could get everything done.
Not the 11th.
45 days even,
26.
but I just...
Are we going to meet the 26th? Okay, so, yeah, the 26th.
26 is fine. That'd be great.
Okay.
That way I'll be through the house.
Councilman Bradford.
That's perfect.
I just want to understand the process, is there a final inspection before you can inhabit a house that's been rehabbed or being built? Isn't it prohibited that anybody move into a house that is sufficient?
It is prohibited, but it happens. It occurs all the time, Councilman Bradford.
Oh, yeah.
We see many.
It's not like a commercial property where you have to get a certificate of occupancy. In a residential property, people live in all kind of residential properties they're not supposed to. Although maybe we should look at that.
We may have to, but again, I'm restating that the faith of our revisiting this whole project was the fact that it would be rehab under your supervision.
Yes, sir.
That until you gave the final okay, that the house would not be occupied, and that's my understanding. Is that what we did it? That's our understanding. Is that correct?
I don't think we did it quite that way the last time we met, but we're doing it this way this time.
Okay. But anyway, that's the intent.
What's going to be happening this time. Yes, sir.
That nobody will move into property until your department says.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Good. I guess I'm going to restate that motion to say that I'll move that we postpone the case until May 24th. Did I get that date right? What was
May the 25th is a Monday, but that's Memorial Day.
Memorial Day.
So I think we'll probably meet on Friday. Thursday, depends on the council.
Friday before.
Yeah, so that would be the, 22nd? The 22nd, May the 22nd.
Hey, that's great. The house 3 doors down. So.
Okay, motion by the chair, second by Councilwoman Lynch. And motion passes unanimously.
Councilman Epperson, those are all the cases that I have today.
Thank you so much. Let's see. Back to, we have no ABO appeals. Let's see. We do have a zoning matter to be considered tomorrow, don't we? Yes.
That's correct. 7850 Linwood Avenue, the west side of Linwood. By Union Investment LLC for approval of a special exception use in a B2 district for alcoholic beverages.
Okay, and I think we received some information from the council person for that district. If anybody has any questions, I think she's available to answer those. Seeing none, are there any reports from officers, boards, or committees? I'll just give a brief report. Last week, I had the opportunity to go to the state legislature to speak on a few things that we had before the Committee on Municipal and Parochial Affairs. There were 3 pieces of legislation there that impacted the city of Shreveport. All 3 were passed out of committee successfully, so we are thankful to our representatives down there for getting this through for us. And everything went very smoothly. We had a nice showing from Shreveport there. There was a good group of people there to support these, and it all went through very smoothly. So good news to report there. Seeing no other reports at this time, I'll turn it over to Mr. Thompson.
You received several appointments to various organizations from the mayor's office, one for the Housing Authority, and these are can be adopted or approved by the City Council on May the 12th. Ms. Donna Samuels, the Human Resources Board, Miss Nano, and for the Downtown Development Authority, there are 3, Christine Bailey, Lydia Jackson, and Keith Darrow.
Okay. Anybody have any questions? Stephanie, Councilwoman Lynch.
Well, 2 things I have a question on while I'm on this. Are these replacing some people, or are they reappointments? Housing Authority?
Housing Authority was a vacant.
Vacant.
position.
I think that's for the resident.
Oh, that's resident. Okay. What about Human Resource Board?
That's a vacant. We had to. We needed to get somebody on that board. That was a vacancy.
Then I knew about the other. Okay.
And then Keith Tadero is the one that's the DSU appointment.
DSU appointment, yes.
Yeah. Unfortunately, he's replacing Jeff Spikes, who was a wonderful board member. I'm disappointed they did not put him back for another term. But
Go back to my opinion.
That was their first choice.
I just had a question I wanted to ask Mr. Sweeney to clarify the difference between the low alcoholic content. Mr. Sweeney, is he still over there?
If you can get.
So maybe
What, is
somebody,
Alan there? Somebody?
Well,
NBC left the building.
but actually,
what about-
SPD may be able to answer the difference between permits for low content alcohol and high content alcohol.
the chief's in the back. I have to move up.
Mr. Chairman, I mean, I can tell you what Chapter 10 defines low alcoholic content as 6% and below, and high alcoholic content as above 6%. Normally, wine is high alcoholic content, so I'm not really sure what low alcoholic content wine would be. Maybe a wine cooler.
Yeah, some of the malted wines and stuff are less
Trying
than
to get
6.
our drink straight.
Okay, well, I have the expert right here. He stands next to me, Agent Cody Cisco on 6th Street.
I kind of think.
Thank you.
I
Low
kinda
content
think
alcohol
vodka
is
doesn't
under
qualify for
6%.
low. What is?
Under 6%.
Okay, okay, you have to give me like, is that a 40 ounce? Is that a
The ounces
vodka
make no
or what?
difference.
Do you know?
It just
The ounces of the bottle make.
It's just going to matter
wouldn't know
how distilled
that.
it is. Like
Okay.
alcohol is made by fermenting, and then you distill it,
That's
to get the
wine.
water out of it, and so the more water you get out of it, the more alcohol.
Let me
content.
simplify it. Basically, it's beer
Oh, okay.
and wine cool. Basically.
Okay.
Now, when I was in college,
And
we
Mad
had something
Dog.
called 3.2 beer. They had something called near beer. I'm old, huh?
Yeah.
They had something called near beer, and it had all these, like 1% alcohol. If you drink enough
They
of
also had dinosaur beer in your day too, didn't they? They had just gotten rid of the dinosaur beer before they.
So I guess
The
if I-
Egyptians actually did have
So
a beer
if you
recipe.
have
It's the
a
oldest
40
written
ounce,
recipe for
is
anything.
it going
is
to
beer.
have more than 6% or not?
No.
Okay.
Okay, so now we're back to the issue. So this is what I don't understand about the whole discussion on this particular property. So he initially petitioned for low alcohol. He initially petitioned for high.
Well, the second thing he petitioned. First was not even had any of that. None. His original application was nothing to do with
No alcohol. Okay. Then he petitioned
For high.
for high, which would have given him the grant him beer and wine. Okay.
And hard liquor.
And liquor.
And hard liquor. The high.
Okay, and hard liquor. So now he's requesting.
Well, they approved low.
So they approve low, but he isn't appealing that, right? The neighbors are appealing him getting low.
Correct.
Yeah, the neighbors are appealing him getting low content alcohol.
Correct.
The neighbors don't want him to sell any alcohol at all.
At all.
He initially wanted to sell high alcohol, then he modified it to low content. The neighbors don't want any content.
Okay, and then from a legal standpoint, now I'm getting a little confused on to be a liquor store. You have to be high alcohol approved, but a Circle K can't serve high alcohol because there's another state permit for high alcohol?
Not in the city of Shreveport. In the city of Shreveport, a Circle K or a convenience store, we typically approve those for low content alcohol sales, same as a grocery store. But if you go to Bossier City, you can buy hard liquor and or liquor. Beer and alcohol are not actually liquor; they're alcohol, but not liquor. So you can buy liquor in a grocery store in Bossier.
Okay, but
that's a Shreveport specific ordinance.
Okay,
you know.
But there's several Circle Ks, one that I'm aware of, that were granted high content alcohol. But it says in their application, beer and wine.
They may have applied for beer and wine only, so that would allow them the ability to sell wine, which is probably like a 7-8% alcohol. It's higher than 6% alcohol.
There's a difference between wine and wine coolers.
I am familiar.
Okay, go on.
There is enough being said, but I
said that to say this, that if you're looking at high content, if you get a bottle of vino, it's probably going to fall into the high content area.
Sure, it should be 8%, right? But they're 8 to 12%. But I'm with you on that. My question is, when Circle K, and there are several Circle Ks in this city that have high alcohol that serve wine. Let me say that. You're saying that their exception is to serve beer, to sell beer and wine under a high alcohol, but they can't serve hard or sell hard liquor, right?
That sounds like that would be correct. I'm not sure about the specifics of these Circle Ks, but it sounds like they would have been approved with limits.
According to the state law, there's 3 contents of alcohol. There's low content, which is beer. There's wine, which is a fermented, the way that it's made is through fermentation. And then there's high alcohol contents, which is a spirit, which is your whiskey, your bourbon.
Sure.
In Shreveport, there's no Circle K that can sell high alcohol content. And what we have here is a order of separation. In other words, if you're going to sell high content alcohol, it has to be in a separate building from where you sell. That's why you see at Walmart here, they have a liquor store built on the side. Or Brookshire's, where they have a liquor store built on the side.
Right now, I'm tracking that clearly. But there are Circle Ks, or I'll call them non-liquor stores, that are authorized to sell wine.
You are same as you would be able to buy wine at Brookshire's.
Exactly. So they are given a low alcohol permit with an exception that allows them to sell wine?
The way that we give permits is low alcohol content with wine. Or low alcohol content, wine, and high content. The low alcohol content and the wine kind of fall under the same category as the best I can explain it. The high alcohol content is where you get your bourbon.
I'm very clear. Okay,
but that's where the high alcohol content, meaning the spirits, is the one that has to be separated with a wine.
Right.
Otherwise, those other two can be in the same space.
So, but this gentleman so that answers my question. He applied for high alcohol, i.e. his intent was to do I'll call it liquor store as opposed to a convenience store. You sure about this?
I don't know.
'Cause that's not.
But if we look at what the appeal is, all it talks about is low alcohol. It's that he was granted a low alcohol permit, and the neighborhood is appealing that. There's a lot of background documents attached to this, and it's unfortunate that Mr. Sweeney's not in the room, and I hope that tomorrow he'll be able to answer a question that I'm going to ask, or Councilwoman Lynch may beat me to it. It appears that a site plan was approved, but that's not what the place looks like now. And the owner decided to deviate from that site plan with no permission, which is also kind of bumped this up a little bit. But granted, the appeal is simply, does he keep the right to serve low alcoholic content beer and wine?
Okay, but not wine. So let's just say this, because the way that's where I'm going on this deal.
Well, that's what this says.
But the application that the ZBA uses says wine and beer.
Not wine coolers.
Right.
Wine and beer. Okay. Well, obviously we got an issue that may be ordinance related that's causing part of our problem.
And in the minutes of the ZBA meeting on April 8th, it does state that he's applying for high alcoholic content packaged wine and beer sales.
He did.
So, yeah. So, that does
So he applied for liquor, beer, and wine. He was granted wine and beer.
In the middle of the ZBA meeting, he changed everything. He said, I'll just go with beer and wine.
Okay.
And that's whenever the ZBA board
Approved 4-2.
4-2.
Okay, and then now it's being appealed, the beer and the wine.
Correct.
I.e., if he gives up the wine, that still isn't going to fix the problem.
No.
Let me bring up this one topic. There's a daycare, I believe, that Agent Cisco measured at 280 feet. I think you got to be more than 300 feet away. We probably need to get somebody to remeasure that. But if it's within 300 feet, then it becomes moot. You can't have it. But if it's more, then you can. So I think there's still something here in play. We measured it, but we're not consulting other experts.
Myself and Agent Altman was asked by the ZBA to go out and measure.
What was your measurement?
282 feet. Agent Altman's measurement was 289 feet.
But both of you came in under 300.
He come in under 300.
But
according to Chapter 10, myself, I'm not the one designated to do the official measurement.
And because that would be the zoning?
That would be the
the ZBA measured it at more than 300.
Right, and the ZBA went out and got over 300 feet. So,
okay, because they follow, like, if there's not a crosswalk, they have to cross somewhere else or whatever. Okay.
So if we wine up there tomorrow, I'm gonna go out and draw one.
Okay.
Okay. Well,
Okay. All right. Thank you. I think that I don't see any more questions up here. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And that was a helpful discussion. I think that case does provide some questions, so it's hard to understand.
I will say, I think we ought to come up with an ordinance that is in line with the way the statute, and if we need 3 categories, beer, wine, and above wine, or whatever, I think it would make a little bit more sense if we're just approving stuff at the ZBA as a middle ground as the rule. That seems problematic. Now, that's just a theory that this is brought up. Maybe police think it's good the way it is, but
well, no, I think we have all discussed it, and the police are very open to the idea of amending Chapter 10 to really work better in several respects. So I think that's going to be happening soon.
Okay.
All right. Let's see. I don't think I have anything else. So if there is nothing else, this meeting is adjourned. Thank you all.